South Korea is currently in the process of creating an uncommon ship design that has its origins in the United States Navy. If there was evidence that North Korea was making preparations to use its nuclear weapons, the Joint Firepower Ship, which was built to carry a large number of ballistic missiles, would be put into action to launch an attack on the country's regime. The Arsenal Ship, a notion for an American warship that was loaded down with missiles but was never constructed, is where the idea for this ship came from. The local shipbuilder DSME has been chosen by the government of South Korea to develop a joint firepower ship, and the government plans to construct 3 of these vessels before the end of this decade. The major function of the ship will be to transport up to 80 brand new ballistic missiles, all of which are now in the design phase and will be armed with conventional payloads. The joint firepower ship will be the sea-based component of South Korea's kill chain. This kill chain is a network of sensors, spies, special forces, and shooters that are designed to get a fix on North Korean leader Kim Jong-un during a crisis and execute an immediate attack on him and his nuclear weapons. According to Naval News, other components of the kill chain include the Hyunmoo 2A short-range ballistic missile, the Hyunmoo 3 cruise missile, all of which are controlled by the Army of South Korea, and the Swedish-German Taurus anti-ship cruise missile, which is launched from the F-15K Slam Eagle fighters of the Air Force. These missiles, when combined, create a triad of precision-guided weapons that can be used in the air, on land, or at sea. In front of a Hyunmoo 2 ballistic missile launch vehicle is where you'll find this South Korean soldier keeping watch. The Hyunmoo 2 is merely one link in the South Korean government's kill chain to eliminate the threat posed by North Korea. Even though South Korea's air and missile sites are stationary and can be attacked with long-range rockets and missiles, it should be far more difficult for North Korean forces to detect and destroy a joint firepower ship while it is at sea. So, what are your thoughts on the strategic importance of South Korea's joint firepower ship as part of the kill chain? How effective do you think it'll be in countering North Korea's threats? Share your opinions in the comments section below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button now. And now, we'll come back to the topic. The ship that was built in South Korea was modeled after a ship that was designed in the United States in the 1990s. The United States Navy went from having 592 ships in its fleet in 1989 to having just 318 ships in its fleet by the year 2000, as a direct result of the end of the Cold War. The service, which was abandoned and did not have a comparable rival, battled for relevance and a portion of the money. The Arsenal ship was one of the potential outcomes of future ship studies being conducted during the period. It was intended to be a massive warship that had no more than 50 sailors on board and contained 500 armored missile silos. The absence of hostile air or naval forces meant that an Arsenal ship would normally carry a large number of Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles rather than a mix of anti-air, anti-submarine, and land attack cruise missiles in its silos. In a paper from 1997, the United States Navy calls the Arsenal ship a remote magazine for the rest of the fleet. The U.S. Navy would have deployed the ugliest ships possible if Arsenal ship designs had been implemented. Concept art frequently resembled oil tankers, with a small minimalist bridge presiding over a huge flat field of missile silos. Often, these images were rendered in black and white. The ships often included a landing strip for helicopters, but other than that, they were devoid of superstructure, cannons, and helicopter hangars. Due to the absence of elements that are common on other types of warships, it was comparatively simple to construct a vessel that had a small radar cross-section. If it had been built, the Arsenal ship would have been the first stealth kind of American warship. The notion of the Arsenal ship was one that the accountants at the Pentagon would have enjoyed. While the typical Arleigh Burke-class destroyer had anything from 90 to 96 missile silos, each of which could accommodate one embarked missile, Ticonderoga-class cruisers had 122 missile silos at their disposal. It took approximately 320 to 330 crewmen to operate a destroyer or cruiser, but it would take a minimum of 1,320 personnel and as many as 1,600 personnel to operate 500 silos at sea. Because of the significant automation on board, an Arsenal ship would only require 50 crew members. In addition, it would lack expensive equipment for detection and tracking, such as sonar and radar. Instead, missile targeting information would be provided by neighboring destroyers and cruisers. The ultimate product is a vessel that can operate for a fraction of the cost of a traditional battleship. This proposal for an Arsenal ship had a more traditional layout. Take note of the helipad located on the boat's stern. As we move forward in the video, please drop a bomb on the subscribe button to make sure you stay updated on the latest military news and developments. The idea of an arsenal ship saw a brief but intense period of popularity, but in the end, none of the ships were constructed. The ships had little usefulness despite their obvious worth and badassedness, since an arsenal ship could only sail with a fleet, and that fleet already had thousands of missile silos that could stock with Tomahawk missiles. Due to its inability to detect danger or mount a defense, an arsenal ship would be unable to show the flag in conflict zones. It was unable to do even the most basic of tasks, such as combating pirates, armed with AK-47s, stopping and searching vessels suspected of carrying contraband, or delivering aid to areas affected by natural catastrophes. In the end, the arsenal ship was only a one-trick pony, despite being very good at the one trick it could perform. The guided missile submarine was one of the variations of the arsenal ship idea that was constructed. The new START treaty restricted both the United States and Russia to a lower level of operational nuclear weapons and delivery systems than they had previously been allowed to maintain. The United States Navy was compelled to remove from service 4 Ohio-class ballistic missile submarines together with their thermonuclear weapons to comply with the requirements. Instead of retiring the ships, their ballistic missile launch tubes were removed and Tomahawk missile launch tubes were installed in all 4 of them. The end product of this endeavor was a single submarine that could carry 154 cruise missiles, making it the most heavily armed warship in the United States Navy that was not an aircraft carrier. The USS Ohio is a submarine equipped with guided missiles. The Ohio, Michigan, Florida, and Georgia submarines each can carry up to 154 land attack cruise missiles, which is more than any other type of military vessel. The South Korea Navy is making strategic plans to construct 3 arsenal ships with an estimated cost of $500 million per ship. These arsenal ships are a crucial component of South Korea's military strategy known as the kill chain, which aims to counter North Korea's government and nuclear weapons effectively. Each ship is expected to carry a minimum of 80 missiles, a combination of existing missiles and new ship-to-surface ballistic missiles currently under development. In the United States, the Navy operates the renowned Zumwalt class of guided missile destroyers. These destroyers are characterized by their stealthy design, advanced technology, and versatile range of weapons. They are equipped with advanced systems, including the Advanced Gun System, Peripheral Vertical Launching System cells, and various other weapon systems. Notably, the Zumwalt-class destroyers are being considered for the deployment of cutting-edge technologies, such as laser weapons and hypersonic missiles. The addition of these formidable weapons would further enhance the destructive capabilities and effectiveness of the Zumwalt-class destroyers in future naval operations. Because the Ukraine conflict demonstrates that modern combat uses an astounding quantity of conventional weaponry, the arsenal ship is very likely going to get a second look over the next 10 years. An arsenal ship for the United States Navy would be significantly more valuable now than it was 30 years ago. This remote magazine of missiles would significantly increase the fleet's firepower in the event of a confrontation with Russian or Chinese warships. South Korea is finally building armament ships to discourage North Korea. The United States Navy may like to purchase some as well. And that's all for today's video, but we'll be right back soon. Have you dropped your bomb on the subscribe button yet? If not, what are you waiting for? Drop it now and be a member of our exclusive military family.